Another second. The recording is now started. Hi, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. My name is Derek Taylor David. Pronouns are he, him, and I'm one of the leaders and champions of the Phoenix Atlassian Community Event Group. Today, with us we have presenting our topic, why releasing tasks doesn't work in enterprise. Yuri, and Philip are here with us today. I'll go ahead and just get into it. Met Yuri over at Team 25 in Anaheim. Had a lot of great questions about some of their tools that were coming up, and I said personally, because I'm one of the leaders, I get to pick and choose one of the things I would actually want to see and present. This was very definitely one of the ones that I wanted to hear about, just personally for my own. So I get to bring it back to everybody else. So thank you all for joining us here today. Yuri, if you want to go ahead and take the presentation, and we
I think Derek, you're on mute.
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, yeah, you're good to go ahead. I was just I meant to turn off my camera first and turn off my mic first when I said that. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just was scared if it was a connection problem from my side or it's like something else. Okay, let's start. And thank you everybody for joining. It's really nice to see you there. And thank you very much for attention to our session. I believe that it should be interesting and insightful for you. Before we jump to our topic, let's meet each other. So my name is Yuri. I'm co-founder of Release Management Apps.
My name is also Yuri, so you can see it's easy with us today.
Yeah, we founded company in 2018, and our headquarters is in Ukraine, with offices in Poland and United States. And at the moment, we have 6 applications at the marketplace, and we are very proud to say that we won several Partner of the Year awards. The last one, it was World Class Software Development, and we got it in Anaheim this year. And it's good recognition, and we would like to share this with you as well. Average rating of our application is 3.6, and our main focus is building application for release management because we have experience in enterprise in the past, and we wanted to convert this experience into product, and also we have not found any better product on the market, so we decided to create it our own. Before we will jump to the presentation itself, I would like to make some small announcements. So we would like to keep a good tradition and announce raffle in this session. So just ability to win $100 certificate to Amazon. So I will post a link in the chat, and feel free to put your details. And at the end, we will take all details, and we will make a selection of lucky winner. And after that, we will send certificate. Okay, maybe Derek, I need some support with sending a message to the chat. Okay, I see it. Yeah. Yeah, here is the link. I believe that you could be able to see it. And also, I would like to also ask you to ask a question in the chat. So we with Yuri will be presenting, and at the same time, Philip on the call could be able to answer your questions. And if some of them will not be answered, we could be able to revisit them at the end of the session. Okay, so then it's time to start. And first of all, let's move to our first slide. And Yuri, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Yuri. So as Yuri said, we have huge experience working in large enterprises, mainly in the area of project delivery, release management, and throughout our activities, we effectively at the moment speak almost daily to the global engineering leaders. And we see certain, let's say, trends that we'd like to share with you kind of today. One of them is pretty much we clearly see an increase in pace for acceleration. Yeah, so it's all about time to market now. It's either in a current OKRs or it's in a kind of future OKRs, but it's definitely there. Effectively everyone is up to time to market, either to deliver something faster or not to miss something, or effectively to create a foundation so it can be achieved in the kind of near future. Okay. The second area, which is clearly de facto standard right now, is that almost all new solutions are becoming multi-component by design. all the old solutions are becoming much more decoupled and distributed. And this is to some extent an enabler to achieve faster time to market, but at the same time, it's also effectively bringing a challenge to the release management team, because the frequency and the amount of releases is increasing exponentially. And how you need to deal with this and manage it straight and make sure you don't miss the thing, okay? And last but not least, Agile and DevOps is de facto standard. Okay, you can argue about the maturity of it within different kind of enterprise organizations, but it's pretty much a standard anywhere right now. So that you can rely on it, but also is a good enabler to achieve those objectives with regards to time to market in a distributed and decoupled infrastructures.
So let's imagine that you have a typical product and how the process looks like. So typically you have several SDLC stages. They may be different in your case, but it will be very similar to presented on the slides. So it should be some development, maybe some testing, maybe some integration, different environments. And after that, finally, we are reaching production. And with good Agile and DevOps practices, with automated testing, we can develop and deliver each item separately. So we can take each user story, each bug, each task, each technical enhancement, develop it and immediately push through the flow. And by this, we will significantly decrease our work in batch and increase time to market, because a smaller work in progress has shorter lead time or cycle time in our system. So, and actually it's working very, very well. And I think you saw it one number of times, and actually it's suits very well for each particular product. But if we will take a look at enterprise, the situation will be a bit different. So we will have the same product, so like in previous case, but in enterprise it might be several teams who are working on each product. So it's making certain level of complexity, but still does not change a lot in comparison to a previous slide. But in the enterprise, there is not only one product. There are a lot of different products, and all of them has own goal, functionality, teams, and require a certain cycle to make it done. So that is making the situation a bit more complicated. But the situation is getting to be even worse when we take a look at all dependency between all of the products, because quite often we cannot release the product in vacuum. We need to keep in mind dependency to other products. Also, maybe some common functionality should be implemented. Maybe some product provides some service, API, or capability for another product. So always we need to keep in mind all the dependency, and it's making the situation even more complicated. So we cannot have the same freedom like we had before. So in general, we can come up to the point that in a large enterprise, in a large landscape, we can achieve business value by releasing the whole solution. And in our case, the solution equal value equal solution, and typically we cannot achieve certain business value by releasing only one product. So we need to release all of them, and typical business capability or initiative affect all of them. So then it's making it a lot more complicated, because we don't have freedom like we had on the previous slide. If you ask if it's it, it's not. So we have more complexity. So that we can see that in enterprise, quite often we need to take care about compliance. And it's not only about regulated areas, such like finance, healthcare, maybe even military stuff. So it's also about more or less typical businesses like gambling or anything else. So because usually we need to report to compliance, and at scale, compliance is getting to be very popular. Even for public company, every public company has to be SOX compliant, so that's a certain level of regulation should be applied on top of that. Also, we can implement and perform some integration testing just to make sure that every product working well in context of the whole solution. It's not enough to release every product and tell that, okay, it's good, that all together they will definitely work in file. Of course not. So we need to make sure that all of them working well and perform all integration testing. And also we need to do some non-functional testing. Performance, maybe penetration, maybe security testing, and all other non-functional requirements has to be checked in terms of the whole solution, in addition to checking it on product level. And when all the things are done, so then we can provide all the data to change management team, make approval, check if all quality gates are fulfilled, and only after that we can go to production. So just to summarize, instead of releasing one single product and delivering every task separately, every user story, bug, technical enhancement, we need to work in more sophisticated landscape and keep in mind all connections between products, all product specific, plus some overhead on top, like compliance, integration, testing, and change management.
When it comes to release management and release workflow, those additional requirements that enterprises expose, making the notion of releasing tasks barely impossible. Yeah. So the amount of efforts that's connected with this is just insane. So therefore, like if you try to do like release every single task in enterprise, it's simply like impossible. Yeah. So what to do with this? It's the answer is straightforward. As always in enterprise, you need to level up. And basically, you need to start looking not at the level of individual task, stories, or bugs. You need to start look kind of at the releases and try like to optimize and standardize the release flow overall. Okay, instead of focusing kind of on small kind of increments. Let's see how it can be done. So let's say we have the same teams, same products. Okay, so they do obviously certain drops of their components, services, microservices, the UI, the widgets. That doesn't matter like what specifically they do. The important that they own it and then they produce increments on a timeline, effectively according to a certain schedule. Hopefully that the schedule is followed. And then, as we know, within enterprise, there is definitely dependencies between them. Yeah, so it's either explicit dependencies with APIs or implicit through the data flow, but it's there, and they need to be manned and managed to ensure that whenever we release something, we actually don't break anything, or the other way around, we empower some new functionalities, capabilities that could be kind of enabled. So, and where it makes sense to impose those additional enterprise requirements, this is exactly at a level where you can effectively package those increments at a solution level and then compose out of it some business increment or a solution release where you can do all the necessary integration checks, compliance check, and this is where change management is more practical, effectively, and more executable, if you may say. So this is basically the whole idea. Just simply move from the level of releasing tasks to releasing the level of artifacts that can be then grouped and packaged into the business increments.
So now looking at this picture, we see that we move far away from our initial concept, like with small batches with rapid delivery, and move to big releases, even like to bigger packages on business value. So that what does it mean? That Agile and DevOps practices does not work in enterprise environment? And actually, you may disagree with me, and you will be absolutely right, because it's not exactly true. So in fact, all of these approaches are working, but they are working with certain limitation and with certain processes on top of that to make it working well in enterprise environment. So, of course, we should and we can use all Agile and DevOps practices on development level. And it's not only limited to the level of each product. So we should be also looking at the whole solution and performing integration of the solution as fast as possible, maybe even developing contract first, making some mocks. After that, we can build all the integration and some other tests around. After that, we can replace mocks with proper implementation and do as early integration as possible, and also try to measure our progress by working software, as it was written in Agile Manifesto. And it could be working very well, and we can get early feedback if we have really working version or maybe working increment for each product, and also if we have working increment on solution level as well. But when we are moving to production and when we need to do all of the final stabilization and approval and all overhead which is connected to enterprise specific. In this case, we need to start building artifacts, building releases, and after that we can push further with our artifacts into our process and work with this bigger building bricks. So that just like more rapid task level integration on development, and after that, as close to production, we can move to artifacts and do all integration on top of it. So just to kind of summarize, we can say that we can do task level integration and as fast as possible development during initial development phase, and after that move to artifacts and operate with artifact during all approvals, during all testing, integration, stabilization on higher environments and closer to production.
Yeah, such notion and such process has some additional and obvious benefits. For some reason, a number of enterprises trying to unify the process at the team level and trying to make sure that all teams are following the same process, the same kind of Jira workflows, etc. From our perspective, it's counterproductive. It's actually removing the innovation in a number of cases. So while moving from releasing tasks to releasing basically the artifacts, what you can achieve a better engineering culture when you have a freedom and flexibility on a team level by allowing teams to follow the process pretty much they want in order to accelerate their deliveries. Some can do Scrum, some can do Kanban, some can do a mix of the two, maybe even some traditional approaches. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they deliver predictable, and basically and then it can be sped up. So what you want to unify the process at the program level, where you have all those increments kind of being delivered. This is where you want to have a clear standard process from the engineering perspective to show all the quality gateways kind of in the first place, and then you can, as we discussed, package it into the more business solutions and releases where the own process probably required, because you might have the necessary integration points, some NFR check, some compliance check, as we discussed, maybe some marketing activities being involved in this whole process, kind of all the way to the production and production process. So in a nutshell, by leveling up and focusing on unification at the program portfolio level, you can achieve also the flexibility and freedom at the team level. So you are basically achieving the better engineering culture, but the same and more predictable, more structured delivery in the program portfolio level.
And by the way, just a kind of side note, we have seen a lot of clients who were coming to us with problem statement to organize this level of unified release flow and business-focused solution and packaging releases into business solution. And one of the most frequent questions was, okay, so should we re-educate our teams, or should we realign software development life cycle on team level? Because everybody understands that it's quite complicated work, and with this approach we should avoid it, and it's would be definitely a very, very big advantage, and also increase adoption speed a lot. But actually, let's jump to Jira, and all of us here are definitely believers in Atlassian, and we like Atlassian a lot, and that's why we're here, and we're using Atlassian toolset. And if we take a look at Jira, we can start mapping this concept to Jira entities and see how they could be mapped and interconnected. Typically, and we see it's happening quite often. It's not entirely like that, but in majority cases, it's very, very similar. That one product is developed in separate Jira project. So of course, it will be some deviation, but this pattern is recognized quite well. In Jira, you know that each Jira project has releases, and all these releases connected to project level only. So we are not able to make cross-project release by standard functionality. So then we would need to visualize all these releases like show them across every product, and we may have a lot of them, because if we have in enterprise maybe 50, 70 products, and each of them has several releases in progress, in some stabilization, in planning, so then we can have a very decent amount of releases, and we definitely would like to have overview, like what release in which status, like what is the scope, what is the dependency, and so on and so forth. So then we would need to develop a certain level of orchestration when we can manage all releases across all our value streams and get control of them in easy and simple way, and make it exactly a release focused. Because if we take a look at Jira tools which are embedded in Jira, like plans or maybe other marketplace applications, majority of them are mostly focused on hierarchy of requirements, like with initiatives, features, or epics, user stories, subtask. But if we move to a release entity, like okay, we have done all the tasks, but when they will be released to production, sometimes it's getting some challenges, because it's very difficult to track this release flow after the development work was done. So just to summarize, we need to have this release management layer. And another one, what we just mentioned, that each release may belong to multiple solutions. So then we need to pack from these releases, like from building bricks, our business solution, and know what products and what versions of each product should be delivered to what environment in order to achieve business value. And environment is also quite important part of this picture, because there are some companies like digital agency, maybe retailers, who are managing a very big amount of environments per client, per brand, per geolocation, and keeping control of all of them also may bring another level of complexity. So just to summarize, we have Jira projects for our product. We have big amount of releases, and from these releases, like from building bricks, we're building our business solution. And those two problems was not solved in a good way at the moment when we were looking for solution like release management. So we decided to create our own solution, and this what release management meant to cover. Let's dive in more details and see how it was done in real life.
Yeah, let's quickly take a look how it can be organized. So historically, Kanban boards proved to be optimal for visualizing the whole flow and actually processing the flow. So effectively, this is where we suggest to start. Yeah, so bring in all the releases that are interconnected in a way to the same board. And then you can have multiple ways of defining those releases. It can be classical fixed versions per project. It can be cross-project versions if you want to create one, or a notion of cross-project versions. You can bring your epics, sprints. You can define your release with just simple GTL by defining the scope. Basically, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you bring it all in the same place, and then you can manage it. Okay. So once you bring it all, as we discussed, the good thing is to create a common denominator for the release workflow. Decide on a process that you want to do it, like from initiation to production and maybe post-production activities. And again, define those kind of stages so that you clearly see how things are moving left to right, and then obviously move it either manually or with automation, but like move. And last not the least, since you want to see how your increments being progressed within the solutions that you have to deliver, it's good to organize effectively the swim lanes about the solutions, so that you can see, okay, these are set of solutions that I deliver, and these are the individual drops of specific software components or products that needs to be delivered in the scope of this solution. And then again, the relationship is many to many. So you might have different kind of components sitting within different swim lanes, and this gives you a clear view and visibility. Okay, where I am, how different components are progressed, and then where my overall solution is at the moment when it comes to the everything that needs to be inside.
And business solution is quite important entity here, because we would need to know when some business value will be achieved. And for sure, business solution should not be limited by swim lane only, and it deserve some separate board and with separate workflow, because in this workflow we should be focused on a lot of about integration. Maybe we can also engage this business solution in releasing perspective some other departments and move beyond of IT. So maybe we should also include marketing, maybe some legal guys, maybe compliance people will be also part of this process. So then we can make it a bit more extended in comparison to the products, and it can help us to get visibility of where do we stand with the entire solution, and make sure that we know when each stage will be completed and when exactly we will be live. Because again, I would like to refer to Agile manifesto. So we are getting value only when our product is on production. If we completed all the tasks but we are not in production, so we are not getting return of our investment. So this view can make focus on that. So when we will be live, when we will be at required environment. So with this board, we could be able to see cumulative status, high-level view, and as you mentioned already, so we can add one release on product level to multiple packages, to multiple business solutions, and in opposite way, one package may contain multiple releases. So just to make multi-dimensional view for this.
Yeah, Kanban boards for both solutions and the products are actually great, because you can see effectively how things move from left to right, and hopefully make an effort to optimize kind of the whole flow and see effectively where you have some bottlenecks and delays. But same time, release management is also about dates, yeah, or maybe even more about dates. And then you always need to know, okay, when we're releasing and why we are so slow, if we are, yeah. So from this perspective, roadmap might be a good alternative view, where you can clearly put all your product releases and solution releases on the same timeline. You can better visualize the dependencies kind of between them. And then this view might not be also used just as visualization. It can be also used as a scheduler to put everything there and then plan it kind of accordingly. One additional thing that's quite important and better visualized on a roadmap view is effectively the intermediate milestones, okay? Because you obviously need to find a balance when you create a release workflow. You don't want to make it too prescriptive so that you start jumping statuses, and then you don't want to make it too generic, yeah, so that it's effectively one status means a lot. So basically the balance effectively of creating the proper stages comes with experiments that you're going to do, but in a number of cases you want to do some intermediate checks, and this is where milestones kind of are essential. And effectively ability to create milestones at the level of the product releases and business releases is a key, because then, hey, you can also the color code and see the progress with those. You can see the progress with your scope kind of being delivered, and you see, okay, here's my today, where I stand with all the milestones that needs to be achieved until now, how the progress for the individual increments are done, so that you can assess overall with a nice view effectively where we stand, okay? And this is very good also to share such kind of views with the stakeholders, because it's very visual effectively, and very pretty much saying where you stand.
Yeah, it's also important to say that all the views are available as dashboard gadgets, and could be integrated with some tricks to Confluence, so that again it will be painless and effortless reporting solution. But we are not limited to roadmap view. In some cases, calendar is more optimal solution, and calendar is especially valuable when we need to communicate our status with some external people. Usually, some group of people does not have access to Jira, or maybe they don't want to open Jira. So we can build calendar like that, apply some filters, show different entity types like releases of our products, releases of the solution, milestones, tailor what exactly we would like to see. And after that, we can generate export link and import this calendar to Outlook, to Google Calendar, maybe even to Confluence calendars, and share this data to external people, so that different group of people, even without access to Jira, can get overview on our releases. So then this is like typical use case which our clients have like a lot and use in their companies.
Yeah. What we see while talking to engineering leaders is that release management is not just about deliveries. Yeah, it's important. You have to deliver, obviously. Yeah, you have to deliver on time, but it's also very much about sharing the message across. Yeah. So the four release nodes effectively is becoming essential, and then with the amount, the frequency of releasing, this becoming a bit of a pain job for release management teams, because you don't have one audience. Yeah, you have internal stakeholders, you have external stakeholders, you might have customers. All of them, they need to have a different type of release node, different type of details that you want to kind of convey, and then ideally you want to automate this whole process, because making it all manual might be like just too much. So therefore, ability to have different type of templates, a Confluence style, where you can create your pretty much nodes and decide, okay, what kind of information you want to put from releases, from the scope over there, automatically generated and put it to Confluence is a good help, because then once you make it automated, put in Confluence, this is then you can easily share directly with either internal stakeholders or external stakeholders. Even basically you can export it with some PDF or emailing and send to the customers if required. So therefore, it's all about communication. Yeah, it's not essential just to deliver. You also have to share message across and make sure that your stakeholder is going to get what exactly you did, obviously in a proper manner.
Also, we see that a lot of customers using it for internal reporting tool for generating and automating delivery reports, status reports, and also generating some notes for compliance teams and for regulators to automate all documentation which is connected to releases and some deliverables and to approval process in general. I mentioned in the past that some type of company has a need in environment management. So I will repeat myself. It will be a digital agency who are managing the environment of their client. It also would be companies who are developing products with white labeling, so and applying branding per client, and again managing all environments, or responsible for updating all environments for all the clients. Also, for the companies which require certain level of customization, so it's like retailers, maybe gaming with different regulations at the place, or maybe different configuration, or different components like different payment providers. So in that case, if we have a need to manage different environments, we can also keep it in the same place and define an environment type from a lower to higher environment, and all the types could be customized. And we can define environment groups, and each group can represent client, geolocation, brand, or intersection of both of them. And for each environment, we can see what versions are currently deployed on this environment, if we have multi-tenant environment, and also understand when the last deployment was done, and be able to plan updates if the environment is outdated and require updates. So again, keep everything in one place and be able to answer the question. So like if we can test on certain environment, or if we have updated some client or not updated. So a lot of clients solving it in Excel spreadsheets, but we can get rid of Excel spreadsheet or some conference pages and get it into more integrated solution, which could be integrated with continuous integration pipeline, and all this environment data could be automatically pushed from continuous integration server here and visualize it on the same place. So again, having the same integrated environment always good.
It's always also very nice when you wake up in the middle of the night and you really want to understand what kind of a version of specific component being deployed in a specific environment in order to kind of articulate the problem, yeah, because otherwise you just don't know what you're looking after. Yeah, last but not least, effectively, release management is all about data and reporting. Effectively, it's not just externally; it's very much internally. You, at any point of time, you need to understand. Okay, so when we are releasing, and whether we are behind or not, and what's effectively the root cause of it. Therefore, effectively, what we suggest is a set of complementary reports that will help you to see what's the velocity of different teams involved in the release, effectively how effectively those product releases being kind of performed, and then how they sum up to a solution release. So in terms of kind of velocity of the teams being there. At the same time, effectively, what's the pace of the scope changes you have, okay? Because it's quite important. And then what you want to understand, you want to aggregate it all to a solution level and then drill down to a level of the specific products to understand, okay, what products or what teams getting you behind, and then to do the drill down analysis to understand, okay, is it because of the velocity or is it because of the scope change? And then effectively what you can do with this, okay? What can be dropped or where you need to do the extra capacity to stay on time. So this is kind of super important because obviously no one want to miss the thing. And then you basically at least need to understand what are your options to stay, or if you want to communicate the delay, that you want to do it as early as possible, okay? And then you want to have all the proper insights and data, because if you do want to communicate the delay, then you'd rather do it once, yeah? So and therefore such kind of insights super important, and there you have it.
Yeah, all of them also available on as dashboard gadgets. So just emphasize on it. And actually, if we are speaking about this concept and how the concept could be covered with the tooling, yeah, it's for today. In the tool we have some extra functionality. So if you believe that it seems interesting for your use case, feel free to ask for a separate session. We can just go through the full functionality and see how does it work. And it's not only about tool. So we were speaking about a release process with big number of clients. So we have more than 1,000 clients in general. So and we recognize some patterns. So if you still have some questions or you would like to discuss it in details, feel free to book separate sessions. So we will be happy to share insight and discuss your use case. So yeah, we will share details. Feel free to book us. So actually, yeah, that's it for today, and let's move to Q&A session, and after that, to Rafael to see who is the luckiest participant for today and who will be able to get the certificate.
Thank you, gentlemen. And if you do have a question and you are unable to come off of mute, please let me know by putting something in chat, and I will do my best to make sure that you have permissions granted to you, and I'll go ahead and give that a second. Okay, and while possibly somebody is doing that, I actually have a couple of questions. Can you go back to the slide where it's looking at the roadmap, please?
Yep, sure.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the one. So what is the difference between the ones that are listed in gray versus the ones that are listed in either yellow or orange?
Yeah, we can define different strategy for color coding, and we can define different color of the whole item. So the gray items, they might be painted in gray because of a status, for certain status, and we can define color coding if it's, for instance, still in planning or maybe delivery. It could be gray. If it's in integration, it will be orange. If it's in development, it could be green, and we can define this strategy on the board settings, or maybe we can choose a bit different approach. We can paint it by progress. So if it's if at early stage, like less than 20% done, it will be red. If it's halfway done, it will be yellow. If it's almost done or completely done, it will be green. So we can make it like this. Also, we can define it by category, released, unreleased, like by group coming from Jira. And also, I would like to admit that here, this different element in green is connected to package, and package may have a different color coding and different strategy in comparison to versions.
Okay.
We just see the different clients have different strategies. Basically, I mean, the tool is powerful, so then you want to use it right, so that then people decide, okay, whether they color code it by the progress or by status, or they just say, okay, I want to color the fixed versions in this, but sprints I want to color differently. So the flexibility is there. Obviously, should be some common agreement within the enterprises, what kind of color coding makes sense, and then communicate this to the stakeholders.
Great, thank you for that. Yeah, that does make it a little bit easier when it comes down to the end users being able to define a few more things versus the tool telling them how it should actually work. That's wonderful. Am I also seeing a status bar below each one of those boxes as well? Because I do see ones where they look like they're completed and they're all listed as green, but then also one DATD project XYZ towards the top right looks like it's about halfway through its completion.
Yes, exactly. So we can take a number of Jira issues in different status category to do in progress done and calculate progress. And from one hand, this approach with issue types is not, sorry, this issue count is not the most precise, because you may ask, okay, we are using story points or hours or maybe some other methods. And yeah, if from some cases it's true, but what we see from our clients at scale, that big companies are still missing alignment in terms of SDLC, and it's very difficult to tell that each team is using absolutely the same approach, and somebody using hours, somebody using story points, and issue count approach will be working well for each team. It will not be the most precise, but will be precise enough. And especially it will be precise enough if we will get a big amount of Jira issues or maybe work items now assigned to each version. So then it's working well, and clients like it. And also I would like to pay attention here on attention mark, which will be indicating that item is delayed. So the tool is calculating amount of done work from beginning until now, and assuming that the same development speed will be in the future, the tool can project expected release date. And if expected release date is higher than planned release date, then it will show this attention mark. And after that, we can put mouse over and see all details about what is projected release date, how much it should be delayed, and so forth.
Perfect. Thank you. That actually answered my next question, and that was about what those icons refer. The next one was the calendar page. I think that one was the next slide, if you could.
Yeah, sure.
So that when you said you wanted to make it available for people trying to consume this without having to go into the roadmap, is this something that can be published to like an external site, maybe not necessarily without all of the security inside of the Jira project itself? What I'm looking for is it available to like our end users who don't need full Jira license permissions in order to get at it?
It could be done through sharing it in some calendar app. So, for instance, it would be possible to create Outlook calendar or a Google Calendar, which will be shared with relevant people who does not have access to Jira. And after that, we can get a link for the calendar and import this link inside Outlook or Google Calendar or even Confluence calendar. And this calendar will be always updated. So it will be constantly updated. So you don't need to update it manually. So just integrate once and forget about it. And this is a way how it will be possible to communicate to the people status of release. So also after the migration to the Forge will be done, because at the moment it's our main focus, migration to Forge, but soon it will be done. We have a plan for build public portal, which could be shared by some permission. And on this public portal, it would be possible to publish release notes, roadmap, calendar, and also visualize certain release dates. But we need to move to Forge first, and this is one of the biggest challenge, I think, for majority of vendors at the moment.
Yeah, I think the beauty is also there that you can do multiple calendars like that. So effectively, I mean, it's not visible on the screen, but you can do filtering effectively, and then generate kind of this link that you integrate, and then effectively you can change the filters and then do another link and another link and another link. So some of our clients are using it for making releases per client or release calendars per client. So for example, they do B2B and they have a lot of customizations per client. So they need to show, okay, what are the product releases going to be done, and then what when the customization is going to happen as well. So by doing this, you can do like, I don't know, 5, 10 calendars for different kind of clients, and then share with them specifically so they can see, okay, when the overall release is going to happen, and then where their specific customization going to be delivered as well.
Yeah, that would be really helpful, especially for multiple customers like that. That's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, I'm still checking the chat. I don't see anything right now. So if you do have something, please raise either. I don't know if you can raise your hand, but put something in the chat and we'll try and get you permission so you can ask your question. I'll go ahead and give that another couple of minutes.
Yeah, and also do not forget to add your contact details. I would like just to share some insights that competition is not high, so that you have very good chance by editing. So we don't have too many people who edit it, so that everybody has very, very extremely high chance to win. So then do not lose your chance.
Do we have enough to where we can do a draw, or are we still pretty low?
Yeah, like we have just enough to make a draw.
Okay. All right. So yeah, last second, if anybody is still entering their information, please put it in the chat and we'll wait just another second for that. I don't see any further questions today. So gentlemen, thank you both. I know it's extremely late from where you're currently at right now. We do appreciate you joining us here in the middle of our day. And can you also please post in the chat so we can send it out any way to contact you, including maybe your LinkedIn or your web address where you'd want us to contact you at, so that if there are any further questions, everybody has the information they would need.
Yeah, maybe Yuri, if I would like to ask you to send this data while I will be just showing who will be the winner.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So then let's close acceptance of context. Yeah. So that as I mentioned, that we have very, very good chance to win for each participants, because we have 3 participants. So that thank you for submitting. So that let's click a spin and see who will be the winner. Anisha, congratulations. So we will contact you within 1 hour after finishing this event, and send your details about certificate, and also ask you for confirmation for receiving it.
Congrats.
Okay, and thank you everybody for joining. Yeah, it's quite a specific topic, but I think it should be interesting from your case if you have it, and it can bring some insights. Do not hesitate to contact us. We can share insights which we learn from our clients, and some best practices.
Cool. Thanks for having us. Have a great day, everyone. Cheers.
Yeah, Derek, I think you're muted.
And my apologies, I was talking on mute. I was like, my apologies. Thank you everybody for joining us here today. I will get this posted to our YouTube channel as soon as practical. So just give me just a little bit on that. And thank you all, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, goodbye.
Bye-bye.